What's up, everybody? It's Techfluid Acre here. We at CES 2025 at the Tewke booth, and they caught my eye because they were offering a trip to London as long as I got my badge scanned. But it worked because I stopped and I actually looked at what their offerings. It's very interesting. You guys know I do a lot of renovations, new builds, old builds, IoT, automation. That's in my wheelhouse. I think this is a very compelling product, so I'm going to let Roland take it away a little bit. Roland, can you give us your background and say what your role is in Tewke?
Yeah, so I'm the head of operations at Tewke, and I helped co-found the company a few years ago. We're based out of London, and what we've done is we've basically created a platform that can fully optimize your home. And the way that we've done that is we've reinvented two products that you're very familiar with, the light switch and the plug socket. And today we're displaying the socket, the light switch. And what this does is it's packed full of sensors. It's got 9 different sensors, from radar to microphones, ambient light sensors, temperature sensors, humidity sensors. And all of that information is being processed locally on our device with our AI system. And that's then able to optimize your living experience. So we're optimizing your lighting, your heating, your media experience, your energy. So we're looking to save about 30 to 50% of a typical home's energy over a year. So that's like a really powerful offering to consumers because they're saving money whilst also elevating their living experience.
So there's many questions and directions I can go. So let me just focus on the 30%. Let's just use the 30%. Yeah. Lighting, as we know, is not the biggest energy expense in our homes, but you're saying that with your whole suite of products, you're aiming for the 30%.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. So when you've fully kitted your home out with the Tewke platform, that's including the sockets. So the sockets are a really important part of the Tewke offering, because that enables you to then control things like your washing machine, your dishwasher, your TV. All these devices are often used at like suboptimal times, especially things like a washing machine. So if you put your washing machine on when you leave the house in the morning to go to work, maybe you're away from your house for about 8-10 hours. During that time, that washing cycle is only going to take an hour and a half. And over that time period while you're away, the makeup of your energy within the home is, the makeup of the energy that's been supplied to your home is going to be different, right? There's going to be solar power, wind power, maybe there's nuclear, maybe there's coal. So when it's the greenest time to then run that washing machine, it will then run that cycle. But we know as well when you're going to be back home, so we make sure that as far as you're concerned, it has delivered you the most
optimal, is saving you time at the peak hours, is not using it, and then when everyone's sleeping and the base load for the nuclear is like, oh, we're going to charge you 3 cents a kilowatt hour now. Here we go.
Yeah, really eloquently put. Yeah, so that's exactly what we do.
And so in America, I'm not sure how it is out in Britain and in the UK and the Europe. You guys have different standards. In America, for example, when you install a dishwasher or when you install a hot water heater, a tanked hot water heater, these usually are basically wired directly into the house. We don't actually use a plug out here. So how would you guys get deeper up the chain of the energy? And it's okay. We're at CES. It's very crowded here, and we're happy for that, you know. But
so in the UK, things like a dishwasher and a washing machine, they are plugged into normal outlet sockets. So we have 30 amps at 240 volts. So we have about double the amount of power. So that's why we can do that. And then things like the water heaters, same as in the US, but what we do is we have a little boiler controller. So there's actually a third product that we deliver as well. It's just not the cool consumer-facing bit.
When will Tewke eventually just go to the source and just have like a smart, like a breaker? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so when we were initially setting up Tewke, we were looking at making the breakers. But what we found is it doesn't actually give you control. It just lets you monitor one of the ring circuits. So you know how much energy is being used on like a floor of your house, but you don't actually know how that energy is actually being used. So what we're doing is we're putting it at a much more consumer-facing level, so we're able to monitor the amount of energy that's being used at the device level. So your laptop charge, your phone charger, your TV, your lights, each individually. We're able to monitor that, and what you couldn't do at a breaker circuit is then control it. And our sockets and our lighting system, we're able to then control that energy rather than just monitor.
10 years ago, you're trying to automate your house. Every one of the things that Rowan described is a separate product. So I'd have to buy a humidity sensor, I'd have to buy a motion detector, I have to buy a smart plug socket, and
separate thermostat.
Everything, very expensive. Right? And to program all of that with all of the integrations, pain in the ass.
It's complete nightmare. Yeah, it's very difficult.
Okay, so you described that your guys' product is pretty painless to install.
Yeah.
Can you give me that design process? Did you guys consult with the contractors, homeowners? Like, what was that like?
So we've done like hundreds of hours of research with builders and electricians, as well as like IoT enthusiasts. And DIY people, all of these people who want to install home automation to their homes. And what we realized was, if you can package all of that into one device, and you can just like switch it out as easy as you would like replace a light switch, that's a really great offering for consumers. It's a really difficult engineering challenge. So what we've got here, this is the product. And we've packed 9 different sensors, basically the functionality of like 9-10 different devices all into this.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
That was surprising.
This is thinner than an iPhone.
Okay.
I think it's got more sensors than an iPhone.
Very light.
Yeah. So that just magnetically attaches on to this wall dock. That's doing all the power electronics.
Cool.
So yeah, what we realized was, instead of having like 10 different devices in your home and you're trying to aggregate them, why not just pack them all into one, integrate it into the infrastructure of your home by replacing the light switches and the sockets, and off you go. So
and this works on 120 volts. I'm assuming this is localized.
Yeah. So doesn't matter where you are in the world, we have a product for you basically. So if you're in a 240 volt geographic location or 110, 120, yeah, we got you covered.
Do these talk to each other over Zigbee, Z-Wave?
Yes.
What's the protocol?
So not Zigbee. We use Thread.
Thread. Okay.
Yeah. So they create their own mesh network. They will have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in as well, so they can connect to your router to get internet in. But what that means is you only need to have one device that's connected to Wi-Fi, and then all the others then create a mesh network. So if you've got really bad signal in your back office for Wi-Fi, this will then create its own mesh network for Thread, and it can communicate over that.
Is the communication mainly over the mesh, and the Wi-Fi is like a backhaul, or do you guys mainly rely on the mesh for the total home automation?
Yeah, for the total home automation, it's on the Thread mesh network.
Cool. And Thread, I've actually never heard of Thread. Is that
it's a new industry standard that's being pushed by a lot of the big tech companies.
Okay.
It's got a lot of benefits over older systems. It's also much lower powered, so there are like lots of very low energy devices coming out as well.
Okay.
There's sensors that you can place around the home.
Yeah.
And it's also being used in the Matter protocols.
Okay.
So what that means is, like, Apple, Amazon, Google, all these big companies are starting to put Thread antennas in their devices. So it's a very little known bit of information that in iPhones and I believe MacBooks as well, they've got Thread antennas. They haven't activated them yet. They're waiting for the Matter protocol to be like fully implemented and dished out, so you'll be able to control this from your iPhone in the future directly without Wi-Fi.
That's very cool.
At least I believe that's
the
where
plan.
That's their
vision.
That's our vision, but I believe that's also where the industry is going as well as a whole.
Very cool. So like basically, just internet agnostic. You don't even need that. Okay, That's very cool, because that means for me as someone who's off grid, if I'm in the forest building an eco village, I wouldn't need to depend on an ISP for me to control like my refrigerator in like my underground bunker. Right?
Yeah, locally, yeah. So
locally,
as long as you're on the same network,
very cool.
You don't need internet.
As long as the mesh, the Thread protocol.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is it like similar to like LoRaWAN, like the low energy?
Yeah, so Thread is just a very low energy communication protocol. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about cost? Like, how much is one of these going to run out here?
So there's 2 different pricing models. You can either buy it outright for $349, or we do it on a subscription basis as well. So you can buy them for $7.99 a month. And what that does, and the reason we have that pricing model is, if you install, say, 5 in your home, that's $40 a month. We'll probably be saving you more than $40 a month in energy costs, and you're getting all the really cool home automation experiences. So it's that little it must make sense to so many people. And also, not everyone's got that amount of cash in their bank that they can go.
Yeah. So like, this item right here is 300. So
349.
349 for this, and you know the front is detachable, so that means like you could update the module eventually.
Yeah, the touchscreen. Yeah. So we've actually got. I don't want to say too much, but we've got a lot of like new product innovations in the works.
Okay.
Yeah, so the idea is that the wall dock, which is the white part that you saw, that's left in, stayed in, wired in, and then in the future, if we came up with a new like touch panel, we can then replace that, switch them out. So for example, hypothetically, if we were to put cameras in there as well, new sensors, faster processors, nicer screens, it's very easy to switch out. And a huge part of our company ethos is like protecting it, or trying to minimize energy usage and energy waste. So all of our products are designed to be as recyclable as possible as well.
Does this play well with the Google Home or Apple Home? Like, how's that integration? I didn't see the any of their logos on your box.
No, you won't see the logos on the box. Today, in very early 2025, we're not integrated yet into Amazon and Google. That's very much on our roadmap. That's going to be coming very soon.
Yeah.
We're looking to be very open to all the different platforms. We're not looking to put up closed walls around us and just try and make it just the Tewke vision.
Yep.
We're trying to integrate into as many different platforms as possible.
The space is actually quite competitive, you know, like there's Ecobee, there's all of the smart home devices.
Nest, Hive, etc.
Huge, yeah. So I mean the product is compelling. I like the design language. I'm imagining in the future you're literally just gonna talk to your home, right? With the LLM. Like, hey, I'm in the mood for, you know, a little romance. It'll just do it.
It'll dim the lights.
I don't have to program it anymore. That's the worst thing.
Yeah. So that's the next step that we're going to. Let's say like a year's time, 18 months time. Or where we really want to go to is the point where you don't even have to talk to it. All the sensors that are in that device, the onboard AI model, that's able to learn what you're doing. So instead of you talking to it and telling it what you want it to do, it looks and observes your environment, how you're using it, and using your environment, and it just does it. So it knows that you're sitting down for dinner, maybe it dims the lights, it puts on some chill jazz, whatever's your vibe. Maybe sitting down for a movie, it knows that you've sat down on the sofa, or the couch in America, sorry. Drawn the blinds, it's dimmed the lights, maybe turn the heating up a little bit, and it just does that all by itself. So what we want to get to is we don't actually want you even using our device, physically touching it.
Don't even interface.
You just exist, you go about your life, and we deliver a frictionless experience.
Okay.
Basically, we want to deliver, our big vision is to deliver Jarvis from Iron Man to everyone.
Okay.
So you don't have to be Tony Stark.
Okay, cool. I like that vision. I do like that vision. Privacy aspect of this, right? Can you speak a little bit about Tewke and how you guys handle all the massive amounts of data you guys are going to be generating? Like, what's that like?
So privacy is a really, really, really important part of our offering. And there's several aspects to how we've made sure that it's as secure as possible. So first of all, we manufacture either in Europe or in the US. We've really vet our suppliers. We make sure that we're not working with companies that could have been compromised by other governments, etc. That's a huge part. Secondly is we've developed our own operating system. We've developed everything from the ground up, so we're not relying on third parties.
Is it not Android based?
It's not Android based, no.
Wow, okay.
No. So we've got a fantastic software development team back in the UK.
Okay.
Big shout out to them. They've developed Tewke OS, and that's the interface that sits on top.
I see, okay.
And what that enables us to do is that enables us to have a really deep level of control over all the hardware stack. And that means that we can then develop directly onto it for our AI, our onboard AI system, etc. And make it a really power efficient device. Then another area of security is the fact that we try and keep as much of that data and processing on device.
Yeah.
So I've spoken a little bit about how all our AI, or a lot of our AI processing is done locally.
Yep.
That's because we're not sending off the cloud to external data. That data will never leave your home.
That's awesome.
And as far as is technically possible, we will anonymize any data before it leaves your house and goes to our servers.
Cool.
So there's no way of knowing that you woke up in the morning, then be able to track back that data that someone's woken up and those motions and those learnings from our AI system. That's like completely anonymized when it's on a any system outside of your home, and that's where we're trying to get to.
That's aspiration.
It's really, really a key part of privacy for our end users.
Sure.
Like, it's a real honor to be invited into someone's home as a system like this, especially with all these sensors, and we've got to deliver a really trusting experience.
I think, also just at the logical end of this, it's like the vision that you described of, not even having to interact, like talk with it just knows. Like, Tewke eventually will just live inside the light bulb, right? It will just live inside your actual appliance at the end. So we don't actually even need to install any of these things because they're extra at the end of the day. We're retrofitting an old system of an analog system you're interacting with.
Well, you still need to have the sensors in the home.
Sure.
So if you were to like put it in a light bulb, maybe a light bulb's got a light shade around it, or it's in a light fixturing, the sensors then don't have a good view. The great thing about a light switch is the fact that it will have a really good view of the room. You can get a really good understanding of what's going on in that room. So you'll still need like the light switch section, I think, because that's going to be able to
collect the data,
collect all that data, process it locally. Also has the power at the light switch, so you can do a hell of a lot. And for us, that's the Goldilocks zone of the smart home, is the light switch.
Dude, Roland, thank you for your time.
No, thank you for coming by.
Tewke is dope, man.
Brilliant.
CES 2025 Tewke, check him out. All right.